Enhance.
I would like some enhanced.
Enhance. You're enhancing.
81.
81.
Podcast episode.
Oh my God, 81.
81.
I'm going to have to take this candy home.
Podcast episode 81, 5/12.
Give that to Nana.
On, the fuck is it, April 11th? April 11th. Email just went out.
Email. What do we do?
Just went out. We have new cock face patches.
Patches. We do.
Cock face hats. Cock face shirts.
Shirts.
Marpat micro rigs. I didn't even scroll down. There's a bunch of different clothes bags. There's I don't know what else she put on the email. There's a lot though. A lot of shit. I think I'm tired.
Are you? You went to the gym. Did you go twice today, or did you just go?
I've been working out twice a day though.
But I mean, when you went to, you didn't go this morning. Is that what you skipped this morning?
No, I was up. I was up still. Did not go to the gym this morning. Went this afternoon. Fucking super strong, like bothersome strong, almost like gonna get hurt strong. I think it's just the eating, because I usually go to the gym pre-food, you know.
Or maybe you're, because we are getting older, so I would say maybe it's the fact that you've moved around a bunch. You've moved around a lot more because you're going from getting up, doing a little eating, going to the gym, versus I spent 4 hours kind of moving through the thing and doing things here, and then you go to the gym and you're kind of loose. And
that's after we moved 2,500 pounds of dumbbells down the stairs too.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck, man! Those 120-pound dumbbells.
They're heavy.
Moving around is one thing. Moving them downstairs,
they're heavy.
A whole nother fucking thing.
They're heavy.
We will just jump into this. This is the remainder from yesterday. And then something happened with podcast episode 76. It was put up, but somehow it was deleted, so it's been put up. There's not a lot of comments, but this will still...
It'll still roll.
Yeah, this will be good. We still got some from yesterday. Sorry for the comments, but the comment as a subject comes up instead of waiting until the end. I have a massive back injury that leaves me in pain 24/7. Every now and then I vape CBD oil. It does exactly nothing for the pain, but if I do it at night, when I wake up in the morning, my entire body feels looser. I have a little bit better range of motion, and I'm not as hunched over. That's what people keep telling me, vape CBD oil too. Like, that's every dude selling any of that shit. It's like, oh, you gotta vape it.
I think it's a scam. The thing about CBD oil is it's not, and I know,
and the one that works for you,
that might not work for everybody else. But the big thing about CBD oil is it's really great for inflammation. So that's really what you're getting. Is you're getting that reduction of inflammation. So that's why you feel a lot better, but you're still going to feel the pain. You want to edge out that pain. You're going to have to do something other than anything that is followed by oil. I'm just going to say, anything that's followed by oil, I look as a voodoo science. So you're probably going to need to kick it up a little bit notch, maybe get some THC oil.
You know what he needs? He needs doTERRA.
doTERRA?
Yeah.
What's doTERRA?
Just the little bottles, the little potions.
Little
you need a little bottle of a lavender oil. Probably fix everything for him.
Yeah, if you get,
you gotta rub it on your feet and in your anus.
I'm sure that if you meet the right woman, she'll have the oil for you that'll help your back perfectly. Gina has found this new thing in the house.
Does it work?
Are
we talking about a vaporizer?
It is the vaporizer.
I've got it in every fucking room. They're in the bathroom in the back even.
But do you have it with the oils?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So when I walk in the bathroom, I'm like, what's that light shining on the floor? Why is that square there? And I truly believe that because the bath mat has set there, while she runs this thing, that it is there's oil the carpet around where the bath mat is darker, and the carpet underneath where the bath mat is fresh. So now there's this fucking square because the carpet is so fucking saturated with oil. I think that's what it is.
It's so, like, I know whatever. If Gina's telling herself that is making her feel better, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, placebo. It doesn't matter how you feel better as long as you feel better.
If you can convince yourself that you're feeling all the better, and I really every night I try to fight through it because
the smell.
the smells that she picks are
and it gets in your eyes.
It's so fucking strong. We have a really big bedroom, and it permeates that room to a point where right about 10:30, I'm like,
what is it? Peppermint, spearmint, lemon balm?
All kinds of different lavender, Yeah. And right about 10:30,
for the lavender shit to work, you're supposed to actually rub it on your feet. Your feet will absorb surprisingly better than like the rest of your body. There's even people that take like an onion and slice it in half.
Yeah, put it in their sock.
Put it in their sock, and it draws toxins out through your feet.
So I have to tell her, hey, you got to turn that off so I can go to sleep, because it is strong enough where I am laying there going.
And they usually I can't go to sleep. And they usually involve some fucking light.
Yeah, it's got some light.
It's got a strobe ball. It's got a disco ball in it.
It's pretty loud. Like it's not super loud, but when you're laying there with the lights out, you hear whoosh. And I'm like,
And when you walk in, if you were to come into the dark room while it's running and shine a flashlight, you'll see like a dragon's mist.
Yep, that's exactly it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a little egg thing. They've got all kinds of sizes of them.
At first, I was like, "Did you turn the air conditioner on? What's going on here?" And then I saw the volcano over in the corner. I'm like, "All right, whatever. If it makes you feel good."
You got a Halloween fucking fog generator in your room.
If it makes you feel good, but yeah.
So, Austin Davis, what's
not to take light your broken back, but
no, 100%. So, what's the fix for the pain? Like, what are you doing for the pain? Are we opiates? Are we heroin? Like, well, how about acupuncture? Have you fucked with acupuncture? Like, I don't know, man. I'm just so fucking lucky that I don't have a situation like that. My shoulder's fucked up. I sleep really good for about 3-4 hours, and then I fucking toss and turn the rest of the night. I want to sleep with a couple pillows under me to elevate me where I want to be, but then my shoulder like doesn't stay there. It's almost like I need to fucking attach my hand to this shoulder to keep this shoulder where I need it to be, but then this hand falls asleep. Like this shoulder's fine if I'm on my stomach, but then this hand's asleep. Like there's fucking constantly something. So I just need to sleep really, really well for 3 hours. And then just get the fuck up's what needs to happen, or sleep in a chair.
Send John an email. Just send John an email. I said this yesterday, which you probably didn't get because that podcast didn't go up late. But my mom recently broke her back, and they're doing an injectable on her back that's supposed to make her 90% back to normal. The doctor's like, she literally broke her back, and the doctor's like, we're gonna fucking squirt this shit in there, and you're gonna be walking out of the hospital. So I'll let you know how that goes. She gets it today, I believe. It's either today or tomorrow. And maybe this is something. Maybe this is a direction you can look in, because she's up in Utah. And here's the thing about Utah: they have the best fucking medical facilities, probably, but they have the best medical facilities, hands down, anywhere. Like my mom's done some crazy shit. She's getting older, but she's still fierily independent. And a two-step ladder, fucking trying to do something too high, fell off the two-step ladder, broke her fucking leg.
I think the volcano diving was a little out of control.
Yeah, a little out of control.
The underwater volcano.
And the
fucking feeding the
shark
great
wrestling
whites by hand, that was, I think that was a little borderline.
So
we might have to rope that in a little.
She's been in the hospital there a couple of times, and every time she just howls about what a great experience it is.
And then jumping, like jumping the General Lee. She should have done that shit 20 years ago.
It was no. I mean,
those cars have no suspension in them.
They do not have no suspension. You should wear a neck pillow, like those airplane neck pillows.
I think I'm getting one of those. The braces under your helmet.
Oh, you probably should, because you're doing too much.
For real.
You're doing too much crazy shit.
Yeah, when we take the razors out for 20 minutes, dude, like, I feel beat to shit the rest of the day. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you are doing for the pain, Austin. And then as far as range of motion, yeah, anything anti-inflammatory. What about blood platelet? They spin it and then re-inject it in with the stem cells. They're actually using it in conjunction with stem cells.
I don't know.
I heard Dorian Yates with Joe Rogan talking about that. Now that's probably progressed rapidly, because that podcast is probably a year old as it sits right now. There are 14 chapters missing from the Bible. The King James and Catholic Church have revised them which is why I do not subscribe to religion. I want to see our alien overlords, damn it. Skully's right about asking if we want to know what happened with history. I believe that the majority, if not all human species, are subservient in their presence of someone or something that we perceive that is greater than ourselves.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If we were to go back to...
You forgot, truth be told.
Yeah, truth be told. If you think about it, there is some proponents out there, there's some people out there talking about a time machine in the sense of, all these things that we think are UFOs are really not UFOs.
There's a lot of fucking people talking about that.
It's us using time machines to come back in time and try and figure out why the future is so screwed up. Movie made like that, 13 Monkeys. But
by the 13 Monkeys, when he comes down the steps in the museum and those big dinosaur heads are there, I found the company that made them. We can actually, good news,
get dinosaur heads?
We can buy the same dinosaur heads.
That'd be cool.
They're fucking huge. They're huge. Like the head of the Triceratops, it was
it's gotta be huge.
12 feet long or something. It's big. It would look very nice at the edge of the property.
I mean, if an advanced civilization, us, or a time traveler visited way back when,
or aliens,
you would be considered a god, no matter what.
Yeah, by the time the whole Stargate thing was based on that.
Even if you let's look at it this way. Let's just imagine that you have an opportunity to go back in time,
and know what you know.
The president of the United States is like, hey, we just need you to go back to this point in history and make sure that the Triceratops doesn't eat these first humans because it's fucking up our timeline. And you went back there, and you boom, you show up, and you're you, and you go, look, I'm just like you. I am not a god. I am just like you. I am not a god. I am not here to create some magical kingdom. I just need you to move right here so this Triceratops doesn't eat you, and then I'm gone. There'd be a whole fucking religion based off of you.
Or they'd try to kill you.
There'd be a whole, they would be like, oh my god, who is this? Who is the creator who came from nowhere?
They'd be like,
and saved our leader?
Can you breed our women? We had the bad mumps.
So, if you look at it from a purely scientific, spectrum, right? Let's just say that in the next 100 years we progress 6 times greater than what we are or whatever. And we conquer space and we have the ability to go to all these fucking exoplanets and see what's there. Do you not think for 1 second if we got to a planet where they just need a little push? That species right there, they're pretty close. They just need a little push. You don't think we would do it? Fuck, of course we would. Of course we would sprinkle some shit, and then they'd be like, oh, I have consciousness. Where's fire? Of course we would do it. Of course we would do it.
Some would say that's what's happened here.
Yeah, I mean...
And then a lot of people, too, it's not even necessarily a time machine, but like mental telepathy, speaking to other civilizations or other persons just telepathically, mentally. Remote viewing, look that up. When you find one remote viewing thing, you'll find a bunch of stuff that will unravel that. Art Bell used to have guys, Nori and all those guys on the show all the time that would talk about all that stuff. Sinjin and all those guys. Listening to it back then, 20 years ago, it definitely, when you watch a YouTube video on it now, you're like, holy fuck, it all makes sense. But 20 years ago, you're like, what the fuck ever.
I don't know. I loved Art Bell, man. I loved staying up late and listening to that AM radio.
Did you meet? You were at Soldier? You met Art Bell at Soldier Fortune Show. We met Art Bell every time. He would come up in some black BDUs and some black jungle boots and a black fucking. Well, he's in a whole black BDU uniform. We built him a.
Soldier Fortunes were so long ago.
We built him an AK, a black AK LBV. And we built him a tack holster for a Glock 17. Man, because the Glock 17 is the best weapon in the world. It's been around since forever.
I don't know about that. I think that's what the time travelers would come back and they'll be like, "Don't buy the Glock. It ruins the whole future. Don't buy the Glock."
I liked your tirade on tactical Tupperware you used to.
Yeah, tactical
20
Tupperware.
Years ago.
Fucking tactical Tupperware. But everything's tactical Tupperware nowadays. If you don't incorporate some plastic in your if you don't incorporate some plastic in your firearm, all the millennials get all crazy and shit.
Think about HK. HK really was the first to do it. They were just trying to catch up. But HK had the patent on putting red on your shit. So everybody got away with putting plastic on their guns, but they couldn't put the red on the white because HK had the patent on it.
This is true. They did have the patent on it.
And really, we were able to circumvent that because we were using red and white before HK. So fuck you, HK.
But we should sue them.
We should sue them. That's what we should do. We should just
sue
people.
HK. Yeah, just sue HK.
Skully, never kill those trees. Don't sell it for the wood. It makes cannable protein plus the natural compost of the husks will make great topsoil pile like the shop over time. Better off grooming and talking to a tree man who has your best interest in advice. Also, the amount some of the trees drink water in certain areas. The problem with those husks is like, run a mower through there and see what. You're lucky you don't have windows on that side of the house.
I blast those things. Those things
Holy
blast
shit.
out of that lawnmower.
So,
I blast those things. I grind those things up.
So I thought I was going to go out and mow last night, right? And I'm like, it's still daylight. I'm going to get on the mower. Man, I didn't get 2 strips. Somebody comes driving up. I'm like, what is this? So it's some people. I'm like, hey, there's somebody inside. Go on inside. He's like, actually, we're here to meet you. And his chick's like, yeah, this is his dream to meet you. And like, I was not at my peak performance. Like, I feel like I let them down. But my mower, the mower's mowing. You know, it's got 3 blades on it. But the mower's mowing
uneven
strip, like mohawks. And like on one, when you go to turn, it's like just gouging dirt. Like, there's definitely some good topsoil there now because I saw underneath it. So I'm like, Cody, go get a set of blades and swap them out. So he's like, hey, one of these blades is on upside down. I go, well, that explains part of it. That would have been Anthony. And then the other one, he goes, what do you want to do with this? Dude, it's like it's like a 90-degree angle. It like, I don't even know how the mower was running with the deck down because that blade had to be lower than the fucking deck was. I don't know what the fuck I hit, but holy shit. It's a good thing those blades like are able to fail like that. Otherwise, I'd be replacing fucking pumps and spindles. And as for CBD oil, the only time I've ever gained true relief from the CBD oil is when it was homemade and definitely contained small amounts of THC that were definitely over the under 1% or whatever is required for CBD, but didn't have enough THC to fuck you up or feel any type of high buzz. I wouldn't even be opposed to fucking above 1% if it made me sleep. That's what I'm looking for. My shoulder, I just went to the gym and did as much chest and shoulders as I could do. I can't get under any straight bar. I can't bench, but I can independent hammer strength. And I really pushed it today further. My shoulder is fucking hurting right now. Like, I can't get comfortable. But if I could take something that would knock me out long enough just to sleep well through the night, I'm not opposed to the fucking THC. I don't have to be fucking drug tested. I'm not out fucking driving. I don't care at this point. I'm 50 years old. I'm looking to go another 50, and I'm looking to perform for the next 10, 15, 20 years better than I have the first 50. That's what I'm after. It's there. I just don't have the money to be in that club. But I'm looking for that club. That's what I'm after. So I'll cheat whatever I gotta fucking do to get there. It's like Dorian Yates was saying today on that interview. He's like, there's this thing called it was a doctor, I don't remember what it was. And they did this question, and they asked a bunch of like Olympic athletes, peak performance athletes, like top of their game guys. And they're like, if we could give you a pill that would make you perform better than you are right now, like guaranteed you're going to be the performer, you're going to be the fucking top at your game, but you're going to die at 45. So like 97% of the people like, yeah, we take the pill.
Yeah, everybody.
It's easy to say.
Everybody says that till they're 43, and then they're like, what if I stop taking the pill right now?
Right.
When you're that's a hard call when you're throwing that on younger guys, because when you're throwing it on younger guys, they have no sense of mortality. That is why the military loves 18-year-olds. Because you got no sense of mortality. So to tell an 18-year-old, hey, if I give you this pill, you're going to be a fucking rock star for the next 20 years. But then you're going to have a heart attack and die. most 18-year-olds would be like, give me that fucking pill.
And here's why. I would. Here's why.
I
Because
would.
by the time that time comes, advancements in medicine, the way shit's going, fuck, they'll have something to fix that problem that I just created.
Well, you say that, but then I'm still in this boat. Everyone that's in the know about hips, knees, any replacement surgery, they all say the same thing. Don't do it. Don't
You're almost
do it.
there. Wait.
Hold on. Wait as long as you can, because the technology is going to get exponentially better. That for us to rip you open and put this fucking hip in there that's top of the line now, it's not going to be. It's going to be a piece of shit by the in 5 years, and you're not going to want to go back under the minimal amount of times under the knife is the best way to be. Now this is just a pill. I mean, if somebody said,
and that's
you can
hypothetical.
take a pill.
What you're talking about is real.
Yeah, minimal time. Here's the thing about going under the knife. Going under the knife, it's usually not the surgery that kills you. It's he's just not waking up.
It's the anesthesia.
It's the anesthesia. So that's why it's harder on old people, blah, blah, blah. But,
so Ted, the old landlord,
mm-hmm.
Ted had double. I want to say he had a left leg, right hip done, right? Something crazy. Both hips. Same day. Went home, walked out. Like, I saw him the next day. He walked in the shop. Fucking insane.
Everything's getting better. Everything is getting better. Here's an interesting thing that most people don't know, though. When we talk about longevity studies, so like right now everybody's like, if you do this, it'll make you live longer. You know that they have not done anything. We haven't done anything that has made the human being live longer. We haven't done one thing that's made human beings live longer.
Killing themselves.
We've just stopped killing each other as fast, and because we've stopped killing each other as fast, more people are living to a longer age. But it's got nothing to do with, well, I don't want to say nothing to do with medical advances, because, you know, I don't have polio because a vaccine kept me from getting polio. But people are still dying at the end of the lifespan of the cells. So 115, 100 years old, you're pushing the capability of a human body. It's the science of that is pushing. They're talking about right now that we're almost at a point where we are actually going to increase longevity, where we're going to be able to be, you know, like John says, I'm going to take this pill and it's going to get me, you know, extra 50 years. Or
so look up Rogan's had this guy on. There's a couple of them. Just look up life extension, NMA, something like that, right? So it's actually available on Amazon. This doc is on there, and then he's talking about this crazy shit, and Joe Rogan's like, how old are you? 30 years old? He's like, no, I'm 50. My dad's 85. He's running marathons. Like, he literally went back to work because he's bored. My mother had passed away. They have him on metformin. They have him on a couple things with this shit, and he is actually like,
I take metformin every day.
He is fucking like growing younger. Like, his ability to do things, he's doing things he was doing when he was 30 now. And it's this wonder drug, and it's for research purposes only. So don't put it in your body, you know, just like peptides were, just like fucking SARMs were, same type of shit, right? It's for research only. So he's talking about this, and then it cuts, and another guy comes on, and he's basically saying similar, but kind of contradicting some of the things this dude said, but talking about the same chemicals. But it's this wonder drug. So Joe's like, what do you do? He goes, well, I was a surgeon. He goes, I did a lot of cancer surgeries. He goes, I was trained as a surgeon. Now I focus on life extension, better quality of life, life longevity. Yeah. And he basically, the route he was going down was, I work between New York and the West Coast. He's like, I do intermittent fasting. I go 16 hours. He goes, 16 hours is the peak spot. And then there's another doctor on that's been on there a bunch. Some female, looks kind of frumpy. And her thing too is like intermittent fasting, 16 hours. I only eat in this little window. In intermittent fasting, you hear a lot of different things. You can have up to 50 calories. You can have coffee. You can have, you know, olive oil. What they're all saying, the top guys, the top talkers in this field are like, no, you can't have anything but water because it activates liver enzymes in your liver. And even to digest caffeine, to digest coffee, anything, it activates that. So you can only have water. And he's like, once I got used to this, I am actually stronger. And they started citing a bunch of laboratory testing in rodents where they gave the rodents the exact same food. Anytime the rodents had access to food, the rodents became obese, and it cut their life in half. When they put them into a fasting window where they could only feed for 6 hours a day, the rodents didn't grow. They did not become obese. They actually gained muscle mass, and they're starting to do this testing with this stuff on humans. He had some high-level MMA fighters on. They were saying the same thing in boxers, and they're like, yeah, I only eat 4 to 6 hours a day. The rest of it I don't. He goes, I get up, I go to the gym on an empty stomach. I have nothing but water in me. He goes, my workouts are better, my muscle mass, and he's like, I have 55 body scans. Fucking 55 of them, and you can see the progression that it's not just a placebo. Like, I have more muscle density, I am stronger, my endurance is higher, and that's that thing that they're all talking about. And
that's what Joe does 16 hours.
Rogan,
yeah, he does a 16-hour fast.
And then this chick's like, and you don't have to do it. You can cheat twice a week. Like, you can go out on the weekends or something, or you have some event you have to go to. You're going to be eating later, and you can cheat a couple times a week and still get the benefits of this. But one of the takeaways I got from this dude, basically what it sounded like, is in your lifetime, you can only bring in so many calories. So you're not actually extending your life. You're extending your life by let's say you only have so many feedings in your life. You're pushing them, so you're extending your life by eating less because you're still consuming the end by the time you die.
I get what you're saying. That's kind
of where it went. Like, we're not living longer, we're just not dying early.
Yeah, that's kind of what Colonel Powers used to say whenever we go to do a PFT. Because Colonel Powers is he's a fucking bodybuilder, right? He's just yoked up.
Gotta feed the machine.
Yeah, all he wants to do is fucking eat. All he wants to do is eat and lift fucking heavy weights. And even now, Colonel Powers has to be in his 60s. And he's still, like, yoked up. Smokes cigar, he does some unhealthy things, but still yoked up, still fucking an animal. But we would go to do a PFT, and he'd just see the look on his face when it was time to run. You just see that, and I'd be like, "What's up, sir? Why you all down?" He goes, "You only get so many heartbeats in your life, and I'm wasting them all on this stupid run."
Exactly, man, exactly. So CBD, but have enough. THC, but only that one home brew seemed to help me while using it for headaches. I think it's crazy. If you look at the shit that humans in the last 700 years have built, it's rusted or decayed beyond recognition. But here we have pyramids with electromagnetic currents that are like 12,000 years old, submerged cities off the coast of India, all built with stonecraft, that today we cannot replicate, that is standing in the ocean, for fuck's sakes. I don't buy our current written history. And if I do, with a tablespoon of salt, I believe that the Sumerians were telling us the truth with the knowledge and understanding they had. I would like to know what is in the Vatican's library, 53 miles of sealed history. 100%.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And that's what Hitler was after. And there's a lot of different directions you can go with it. But not only can we, like the pyramids, for instance, when you measure them, they're perfect. They're perfect on every fucking side.
And not just perfect in the sense of, I built this building and it's perfect. Perfect in the sense of it's actually an astronomical equation. So the way those pyramids are set up, it's an astronomical equation. So we weren't just like...
And when you start connecting the dots around the world, it's fucking crazy. And everything it's all divisible by 3.
They just weren't like, this brick has to be perfect. They were like, this brick has to be perfect. And it has to be perfect. I don't know what the direction is. I want to say it's true north, and it has to have an astronomical direction that's perfect. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I don't think it's. I mean, I guess you could say that. I don't think it's this grand conspiracy to lie. I think what happens is we find stuff, because there's if you look at archaeologists when they went into Egypt, when the British archaeologists were going into Egypt, they basically were like, when they would go, and you can look this stuff up, they would find stuff and they would be like, yeah, this has to be some great white tribe that was over here that created all this stuff, because there's no way these motherfuckers built it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just and it's because the Marine Corps does this with tradition, in the sense that we have things that keep moving forward, and 100 years into the future, you're like, why the fuck do we do this? And everybody that's there with you is like, I don't know why we do this. It's just the way we've always done it. You know, it's curious that for the most part we live in the history that we live in. So like when you think of people 100 years ago, you're like, those people were stupid, but they had the same brains that we have. They weren't stupid. They were actually really smart. It's just that we are standing on the backs of their technological breakthroughs. And because of their technology breakthroughs have been pushing us forward and forward, we think we're actually smarter than people were in the 1800s. But we have the same brain capacity. It's just that all those discoveries and everything that you know is the product of somebody else. It's the product of somebody else, and it's probably the product of somebody 100 fucking years ago. So history is weird, man. And I say that in the sense that when you're talking about all these grand things, it might not necessarily be this big conspiracy that they're trying to hide everything from us. It's just that the first guy that goes, oh shit, look at this thing. I'm going to get to name this after, it's going to have my name on it. This is awesome. He just comes up with a whole fucking idea that because he is who he is, everybody in the future is just like, oh, that's just some shit. That's the way it is. It's kind of like, example...
Well, look at Einstein. They're fucking saying a bunch of his stuff was fucking bullshit or stolen because he was I mean, look at...
Yeah. Well, Stephen Hawkins, right?
Yeah, they're saying...
For the last 30 years...
How the fuck do we know he's the smartest guy in the world? He can't talk.
The last 30 years, everybody's like, oh, all these things that Stephen Hawkins is putting out there, everybody's like, it's gospel. And now they're starting to go, wait a minute. Just like, I don't know if you know this, but they're talking about just recently they've been talking about the speed of light. And in Einstein's theory, we can't go faster than the speed of light, because as we get closer to the speed of light, our mass increases. So we get bigger. So we would never be able to go past the speed of light. But he did it in a fraction. And because he did it in a fraction, they're saying, well, you can turn that fraction upside down. And now instead of getting bigger, we get smaller, which means we can go faster than the speed of light. So they're already talking about we have the capability to go faster than the speed of light, and they just changed one thing in Einstein's theory of the speed of light.
I just want to hire a dude. I want a huge chalkboard that's like a whole entire
wall.
Yeah,
have them doing it.
And I just want a dude that writes some shit, because that's what they're writing. Like, who can read any of that bullshit? Yeah. I just want a dude that writes, like, draws pyramid pictures and aliens and a bunch of math equations.
Yeah.
And if you fucking take a crazy enough person, they will give you an answer to that shit. Nobody can test it and see if it's real, because fucking who knows? The machinists sometimes write the program, but always set the machine up, then show the button pushers how to run it. It's two different skill sets. Most bigger shops have 1 or 2 programmers, a couple of machinists, set up men, and then a person per machine to load parts and press the green button. Yeah, CNC machines.
I'm not gonna lie. I talked about this before, about the 80% lowers, and then this machine shop that let me fucking in order for it to be legal, in order for an 80% to be legal, you have to push the button, right? I can't have this 80% that's mine and give it to John, and then John pushes the button. Even if I take it and go home, according to the ATF, you have to be the manufacturer of that firearm. You personally have to be the manufacturer of that firearm. Oh man, I had so much fun on that, and all I was doing was pushing a button,
and watching it machine,
and then I had to change one axis on the fucking thing. And people were coming in, and Steve's like, "Hey, do you mind if they bump you?" I'm like, "No, they got one. I got all these to do," and and then I'm just like, here, give it to me. Let me do this. I'm gonna get it in here, and I got it down already and hosing it down. But you gotta. I'm like, all you have to do is come over here and push this red button. So it gets fun.
Shoot 'em up addicts are special breed when it comes to their dealers and potential lethality and potency of the drug. It's thought about differently than other drugs. The user addict wants the most potent shit they can find. So while the dealer doesn't benefit from a customer dying, as in that individual death, they do gain a handful of new customers who are looking for the most potent shit they can get. The biggest problem drug dealers currently have is being the last contact in the customer's phone now. Oh yeah. Every overdose becomes a case. How fast the cops get to work, that case varies. It's a wicked cycle of chaos right now when it comes to opiates. Crazy shit.
I get what you're saying there, and that's totally true. As far as when you're talking about if I'm slinging dope on a corner and one of my dudes fucking goes toes up, but they're fucking slinging shit right now where I'm fucking handing that stuff out in the park
when the cop fucking touches it,
and I am turning around to go walk away, and fucking 9 people are dead in the goddamn park. That doesn't make sense.
John, being how the drone max on the property is 100 feet due to the local airport, I do believe that will be your tower's ceiling at the highest point. Thanks for the content. I got an email you sent, dude.
I think we can go higher as long as it's...
Yeah.
As long as it is...
We have to mark it with the FAA.
Designated and has a light.
Yeah. U.S. Gov Liquidations has some fire tires for sale. You have
fire tires?
Fire towers. You have 45 days to remove them from the property, and you have to sign some thing showing that you have insurance to protect the land should you fuck this fire tower up and damage the property removing the fire.
Now, the thing there is for it to be legit is we would have to find somebody who's fucking. We would have to find a company that does that for a living.
Oh yeah, no problem.
You know what I'm saying? It couldn't be me and Tyler out there with a fucking socket wrench.
We're gonna have 2 dudes fucking.
Could be me and Tyler out there with a socket wrench trying to lower this shit down with some 550 cord. I mean, we could do it that way.
Tyler could totally do it.
We could do it that way, but insurance purposes,
Tyler would be like, it'd be easier if we just hacksaw this.
Yeah. I chewed through the bottom one. We're gonna be good.
Fanta soda was also a Coke product developed for the Nazis when they ran out of Coke and couldn't import it during World War II. IBM developed the computer to track camp population. Siemens also built a lot of the infrastructure with slave labor. Lots of other international companies worked all sides. Yeah, look at the Japanese. I mean, look at Project 73 and the dude that ran Project 73 went to work for what pharmaceutical company? I don't remember. The balloon Earhook was used in 007 James Bond movie Thunderbolt. It was used in a Clancy movie too. In The Dark Knight, Batman escapes on a passing C-130, hooking a tether in the China scene. That's it. That's the one thing.
They like dusting that. I think the Air Force just likes dusting that off every now and then so they can go, hey, we have this capability. But you really shouldn't do it.
Hey, y'all, I'm an 18-year-old apprentice carpenter who just ordered his first piece of SOE gear, a large tool bag, in Mandrake to carry my hand tools to and from the job site. As a young man entering the trades, I take a lot of your guys' advice to heart. I listen to the podcast every day on the way to work and find it seriously motivating. Good for you, man. Malcolm, just remember, outperform the fucking dude next to you, and you will fucking take his position.
Unless he's a really old guy that's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, then learn from those guys.
Learn every fucking thing, and it may suck, but learn everything he has to teach you. Because I'm going to tell you something, Malcolm.
Not just about your job.
Even if there's going to come a time in your future, even if AI happens and fucking they make AI carpenters, there's going to be people with lots of money who are going to be like, man, I really want to see a human being put those fucking cabinets up. Does anybody do that? And that last guy is going to be fucking very wealthy because they're going to be like, oh man, I can't believe a human being can even put up a cabinet. So learn it all. Learn it all.
How's it going, fuckers? I just figured I'd share something I found bizarre. My uncle said happened over the weekend. The day was Friday. In a huge house across the street live about 4 to 7 people of what clearly seems to be from the Middle East. No big deal, as they don't seem to bother anyone. Yeah, and 24, they never bothered anyone.
They never bother anybody until they bother them.
On this, is 24 still around?
No, I think it's called the...
Kiefer Sutherland die or something?
Yeah, but I think... No, 24 is around. Keith Sutherland's not the guy anymore, it's another dude.
On this day, one of the people living in the home come across the street to apologize about all the family parking on and off the street throughout the week. No big deal, he thought. The guy goes on to thanking him for understanding and such. Later on in the conversation, he explains to my uncle that his mother had died on Sunday earlier in the week in her bed. My uncle thought he was fucking around, but was serious. He asked if they had called an ambulance or anything after she passed, but he said they did not, since they knew her time was coming, since she was 97 years old. My uncle didn't question the reasoning out of respect. About an hour or so later, after my uncle and the guy had the conversation, an ambulance arrives across the street to pick up the body. What in the actual fuck? Laugh out loud.
So was it, they had the body for a week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I thought I was waiting all along for you to tell me that they buried it in the backyard.
Yeah, that's customary. I think I want to say it's a week of mourning, and then they have to put the body in before the 7th day or some shit like that.
For the body to go to heaven or Allah
or wherever it's going.
Don't they have to fire AK-47 straight up in the air?
Only if you're in the Middle East. Usually that's at a wedding.
There's so many videos of them doing that,
yeah,
and like
somebody getting shot. Yeah.
On the subject of being an American immigrant, the big thing in my high school was people asking, "What's your nationality?" I pissed everyone off, always telling them that all of our nationality was American, no matter where their grandparents came from.
That is 100% true, and you should stick to that line. We are all Americans, no matter what color, size, shape, fragrance you come in. You are an American. If you were here, you should strive to be an American.
What's Gina's ailment?
Ailment?
Yeah, like you said, the oil makes her feel better or whatever.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, just a general well-being, I guess.
The story about the Polish Lancer Brigade charging German tanks is a total myth created immediately after the Battle of Krojani. It was created by the Germans and later used by the Soviets to portray the Polish officers as backwards and untrustworthy. Additionally, both Germans and Russians relied heavily on horses to move supplies and equipment. Campaigns were planned for the warmer months so the horses could feed on grass. That was the advantage. They did not require fuel to be hauled over long distance. When the Russians reached Berlin, they brought a large number of horses with them as well as camels.
The Polish army was still a cavalry army at the time, and there's a documented case of a Polish brigade going after tanks on horseback. Whether they put their lances down and tried, they still were wiped out. Most armies at that time period were still using horses. We, the United States of America, were still using horses. All those fucking dudes that you see running around with those fucking cowboy hats and the crossed rifles, crossed swords on them, that are right up here in Clarksville, California. That is all former cavalry. That's an all former cavalry unit. Now they fly helicopters. Horses were used very heavily in military logistical support at that time. But that's exactly what they were used for, was military logistical support. One of the things that not MacArthur, George S. Patton realized at one of the last major tank battles in Europe was that the war, he knew, this was still a year out, but he knew that the war was over. And the reason why he knew the war was over was because the Germans were using horse-drawn carts to support this tank battle, which means they were out of fuel, which means that fucking war was over, because horses don't fight tanks, no matter how many horses you have.
Taxation is theft regardless of economic class. To which I replied, I said, I don't think anyone here disagrees with that. Edward Brown comments on the same and says, I would almost be all right with it if each taxpayer could assign where the money goes. But over time, I'm sure that would become corrupt as well.
I mean, it's not even just knowing where the money goes.
No, we get to choose, is what he's saying.
Yeah, but I mean, think about how much better it would be if you could go.
Well, think about all the shit that would cease to be.
Yeah, if you could just go, hey,
my roads.
How much? Where's the money for the roads? You can't even do that. When we talk about like the California budget, you can't go into the California budget and go, this is how much money was taxed for roads, and this is how much money they spent on the roads. You can't even do that. It's ridiculous.
We've said that same thing. I say that, puppeting and just repeating what Spirko said. Jack Spirko's talked about that fucking dozens of times. Banning guns is inhumane. If someone legitimately wants to murder someone and a gun isn't available, they will beat that person with a blunt object or run them over with a car or blow them up. Given the choice, I want to be shot.
As the first murder, Cain and Abel, it was done with a rock. So,
I agree. There is plenty missing from the Bible. What do you guys think it is?
I think it's a narrative. So when the Catholic Church was tasked with putting the Bible together, they needed to create a narrative. And certain books of the Bible do not follow the narrative that they were pushing. And so it was necessary for them to just be like, we'll just put this over here. We'll just put this over in this pile. So they could have the narrative that they wanted to push.
I agree with plenty. We did that one. I believe the Catholic Church has probably modified the Bible to suit their business model over the centuries. That's what you pretty much just
mean,
said.
they're just, they have to have that narrative. It's weird that when you think about it, though, that books of the Bible, like, so the book of Judas is one, and then there's the book of Mary Magdalene. That it's weird when you think how long ago the Bible was finalized, and that these new chapters are actually out there in the world. You would think that the church, which I'm sure they did, would do everything in their power to hunt those documents down and destroy them. It's kind of the reason why you're not allowed to go into the catacombs, because I am sure they have documents down there that are probably pretty damning to a lot of people.
Question for John or Skully. What was the longest amount of days you can ever recall going without busting a nut? Was it worth it? Was it worth it for you? And could you tell if you had more natural energy? I'm starting to realize that energy from semen retention is a very real and awesome thing. I think you've lost your fucking mind.
So you see,
what is that called? You see high-level athletes. You see that mentioned with high-level athletes. Most of them also say that it's bullshit. Most of the trainers say that it's bullshit. Restrain from sex before the big game day. Restrain from sex before, your next leg of Tour de France, whatever. Most of that is, they don't subscribe to that anymore. I think I definitely perform a lot clearer if I have sex on a regular basis. When it's missing, you're focused on that. So I don't know what to tell you on that. Are you looking something up?
Yeah. Fuck. I hate this.
Abstinence. You could go be a monk, I guess. Now.
I would say that this is what I would say about that. I would say that it's not that when you say that keeping your sperm, right? I would say that it's not the act of keeping your sperm. I would say that what we're talking about really would be the interaction that you are having with a woman. Depending on how that interaction is on a daily basis, I can see how you could have a good session with a woman and leave and not be at your peak for a minute because you're like, that bitch is crazy. And then go into something else where you are not focused on the challenge at hand. The thing about going with abstinence, if you have something you're focused on that you really, I have to win this fucking baseball game, and if you think that not banging chicks the night before is what's going to make you win that baseball game, 100% that's what's going to make you win that baseball game. It's that placebo effect. It's just perception. It's kind of like the pitcher that has to wear his girlfriend's panties whenever he's on the mound. It's the perception of what you feel is necessary for you to be successful. In John's case, it might be, I can't be successful unless I bang a bitch right before I go in there to fucking hit that shit or do whatever I'm going to do. That perception is the reality of it.
Speaking of folks coming to America and not assimilating, one of the greatest things I have ever seen is on CNN and Fox News when they are covering the caravan that was coming from Honduras. Yeah, whatever happened to that?
They're here.
There were guys carrying the Honduran flag, yet they are fleeing to America looking for asylum from that country.
I wonder what.
Fuck? So we let them in?
Well, yeah, they're all in detention right now. Yeah, they're here
In Mexico. That's where we should have detention.
Well, Trump tried to do that. Trump recently said, "Hey, we will do all of your claims." So, because what they're doing is they're coming and they're claiming asylum because they say that they're blah 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 blah. But we will do all your claims, but you have to wait in Mexico until we call you and tell you. Well, some court just said you can't do that. That's illegal. You got to bring them in the United States because they want them released into the wild. Period. I wonder. Think about this.
Speaking of Mexicans,
what would we have done?
Man, we should go to Jackson and get some tacos.
Man, those fucking tacos are so good, man. I couldn't. I couldn't. No.
Why?
Because I really would want to go there with a fucking totally empty stomach, like first thing in the morning or something. Because I feel like I would want to eat more than I could really eat right now.
We should hire them to come here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that truck.
That truck don't move. That truck don't move.
I would totally use them for one of the parties.
It's kind of blocked down, but
let's buy their truck.
I'll bet they would sell it to us.
Tow it down here, and then we hire them to come down and make tacos for us.
Oh, okay. I wonder what we would have done. So you think about the caravan. What if that caravan was coming to the United States? This is probably a pretty good plan for you guys that are in El Salvador or Honduras that are fleeing to come to the United States. Next time you have your caravan and you are moving towards America, give everybody an American flag. Give everybody an American flag. I feel like there would be somebody that would go, oh shit, just open the gate. Whatever, come on.
It's hard to even perceive the timeline of Egypt. For example, when we think of Cleopatra, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of this. When we think of Cleopatra, we think of Egypt, pyramids, etc. But in reality, Cleopatra lived closer to the launch of the first iPhone
than the
estimated building of the Great Pyramids.
Yep. Here's one that's very interesting: is the guys that she fucked, like Alexander the Great and Mark Antony, and
Napoleon.
No, the guy that. So Mark Antony, Mark Antony was running. So Mark Antony and his number two.
Who was Mark Antony?
Those people are so separated in time. Roman Emperor. Those people are so separated in time that it's like, damn, she started when she was fucking young. That Cleopatra had to been, man, I'll bet she was in her teens when she met Alexander the Great.
Topics you talked about in the first 30 minutes. Great stuff. Find that very interesting. If you didn't come across him yet, check out Graham Hancock. I know that name for some reason. I know the name too. He also went on the ayahuasca trip. Very interesting guy with some very interesting data and insights. He's probably been on Rogan.
That's probably.
Have you seen all the memes? They're like, yeah. So I was putting I'm on Joe Rogan, right? Yeah, I was putting a roof on my house, and I'm like, should I go with steel or shake shingles?
I know what you're saying.
Have you tried DMA?
Yeah. Have you tried DMX yet or DMA? Have you tried? The big one is somebody came on there. Somebody big. I was just listening to like a not an Elon Musk type, but somebody came. I think it was Ben Shapiro. Was like Joe said something about smoking pot, and he's like, I can't afford those. I can't afford the stock hit that I'm going to take if I smoke pot. And he's like, yeah, the stock went down, but it went right back up. It's like, but that's still a stock hit. You don't seem to understand that.
Listen to April 9th podcast, and head injury came up. I had a tire blow out in a corner. Rolled my car into a tree, roof first at 30 miles an hour. Fractured my right temporal lobe, broke my temporal artery, brain hemorrhage, and hematoma. Snapped every rib in the back of my left side, punctured and collapsed my lung, cardiac arrest, and seizures. Shouldn't be alive. 6 months in a rehab hospital, learning how to walk, eat, drink, and not shit myself. Fed through a tube for most of it. I suffer every day, but still work and fuck all the time. Protect your head. Good day, sir.
You should friend up Lance Manning. What's his thing?
TRB EDC, tap rack bang, everyday carry EDC.
He went through all that, and he's living a pretty productive life.
He's doing the 10,000 kettlebell challenge or 100,000 kettlebell challenge or something crazy. Every night he does a live feed of him fucking doing the workout. Now you have to keep in mind, some of you know, some of you don't know, Lance just saw a cardiac specialist. Like, Lance thought he was having a heart attack. They kept him and admitted him overnight. They were talking about having to scope him and clean out some arteries and shit. That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. They never did the procedure. And look at that motherfucker now. So, if you're feeling, not to you, John.
Not to you, John. Saying.
But if you're feeling fucking sorry for yourself, if you're a dude that, I can't get a job, or I can't bring myself to get out of bed, or I can't get away from my Atari, or this skeezer bitch who's fucking 5 of my friends, watch Lance. If fucking these guys, if John G can do it, if Lance can do it, you motherfuckers don't have any excuse. And better yet, if you're one of those people, why the fuck are you watching us? Like, why? We have nothing. Like, we would try to help you once, and then we would fucking squash you like a bug. Stop being a piece of shit. Stand up for yourself, for your family, people around you. If you got fucking kids, set a goddamn example. Stop being a fucking welfare recipient. Like, go do some shit.
Is anybody out there on welfare listening to these?
I promise you there is, man. I fucking promise you there is. I walked into the gym today. This kid, bigger kid, he's in there working out, and I'm like, he's kind of a big motherfucker, right? But as I got closer, like, he's big, but he's not in the shape I'm in, right? So he walks up. He like looks at me, double takes. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Where the fuck do I know this motherfucker from?" So when I walk out of the bathroom, I went in there, take a leak, wash my hands, put my earbuds in, fucking ignore everything that's going on except what I'm doing. And he walks right up, shakes my hand, and I'm like, he introduces himself. I'm like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" He's like, "I'm just trying to get my back big." I'm like, "Keep doing all that shit. Your back will get big." So when he just has my attention. There's something about this dude. He's not like your piece of shits that are there in the morning, right? So as I'm leaving, he has my curiosity. So I go over and I'm like, "Where do you work at?" He goes, "Oh, I just work at Walmart." I go, "Good for you, man. Good for you." I go, "How long have you worked at Walmart?" He goes, 4 years. I go, "That's some serious shit. You have fucking staying power. You have something that most of these do." Because he said something while we were out there on the floor, because they moved the gym equipment around. So like the hammer strength back shit is by the chest incline, which I needed. So I waited for him to do his set. I went in and did some other shit and came back over, and he noticed that I didn't wedge in there and put my plates on. So he said something, I don't remember what he said, but it caused me to go, "You're ahead of the other 5,000 people in this town. Look around. There's 5 of us in here right now. You're fucking here right now. You worked this morning. You've held a job for 4 years."
Yep.
He goes, "It ain't much, but at least I'm working. I'm not going to be one of them other guys." I go, "Don't ever be ashamed of fucking working.
Don't ever be
You were
ashamed of
doing
work.
something that fucking half of this town is not fucking doing. Like, it makes me want to go, you want a job? I got a fucking job for you. You want a fucking another job? Come see what we're fucking doing." Like, those are the dudes, you know? Like, you meet somebody and there's just something there. Crazy. You have a story to tell. Oh, this is me telling John G. I go, "That's crazy. You have a story to tell. How old are you now?" And he replied, "I'm now 36. This happened when I was 19. Spent the weekend camping out at the Randall Maid Shop in Orlando. Got the knife I was after and showed off most of my SOE gear I have. The 12-gauge micro rig and tool bag got lots of attention. Should lead to some orders for y'all." Thank you, James.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I have a Vietnam Randall, like one of the actual SF issued ones.
I need to buy one for Leo. I don't know why. I don't know why we're not just making shotgun rigs out the fucking.
Like, we're just can't make enough
just
of
nonstop
them. Because we have to stop and make other shit.
Because everybody has shotguns, and that is the best possible solution for anybody who's doing any shotgun stuff.
1000%. There's a couple companies trying to copy them,
but
they're trash. Holy fuck, are they trash?
Best possible solution, and I'm not just saying that because I work here. I'm saying that because I've used a shotgun for a long time, and it went from way of the gun, just dumping all your shells in a fucking a drop pouch to, some fucking
after
cards.
My boyfriend's done fucking you up, then he's gonna fuck you.
Shotgun cards and stuff like that. But man, you can't beat a shotgun. You cannot beat the shotgun rig because that's even for in the military. Like they gave us the fucking M4 Benellis. So like, here's these M4 Benellis. Here, everybody gets an M4 Benelli. Have at it. And I'm like,
remember that super?
Where we put the fucking shotgun shells?
Remember that M1 I had?
Yeah.
It only fires certain rounds.
Yeah.
And then the front sight always falls off. Your first thing that's happened to the gun is
that thing is worth so much.
First thing that happens is your sight falls off, and 2 days later it rusts.
Yeah. Those things are worth so much money now, but you just cannot beat the fucking shotgun rig. I don't want to toot the gear thing because
we're gonna do a shotgun rig, shotgun stuff. We're gonna do a shotgun rig, shotgun pouch, pull off cards. We're gonna do a video, a Brandel video, and then we're gonna do the FUPA video. I think will probably be the next one, shotgun, and then some mag stuff.
You can do a lot of shit with the FUPA though.
So you're gonna have to get on. You're gonna have to get on Instagram and start watching some of these dudes how they're
doing what?
Well, you gotta over-exaggerate. I'm doing it this way because you're left-handed. You have to over-exaggeratedly twist that and pop that in there. And then while you're popping that in, you have to have 2 mags. You have to throw 2 mags in the air. We'll just have somebody behind you throw 2 mags in the air. So
I am going to. This is what I think. I need to incorporate because I've been watching this new gun series. This new fighting thing. I've been watching this new fighting thing.
It's a Krav Maga.
And I'm thinking I need to. They're all doing it with pistols, but I want to incorporate it with the shotgun, so I can get the
wiggle. Yeah, I totally dig it.
I want to do that with the shot because I see that working with the shotgun a little bit better. Get the wiggle in there.
Wiggle.
Yeah, you know what is weird?
I want to do it with some chicks with big titties.
I saw that would be great with big titties. I saw the real video.
Yeah. They fucking cut it up and made it.
Yeah, no, but I saw the real video. And whoever this group is, they're serious. They're not. It's not a joke. They're really serious. And they do some weird shit. Like they'll go to the door that they didn't show in the video. Like they'll go to a doorway, and they'll do the fucking wiggle, and get around, and then they go like this. I don't know why they're doing this. He screams like, shh. Yeah, he screams something in a foreign language, but it's weird, whatever it is.
Actually, we should probably get...
It's probably... You know what, though? It's probably the fucking best technique. Because, all us run and gun guys or anybody that's doing action-packed thing, I guarantee you, if you were fucking looking at the fatal... If you had your rifle there, and you were looking to blast somebody coming through the front door, and you were looking, and you saw... you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Boom! You got shot.
All right, so we have a rifle card for a bolt gun, right?
Yes, we do.
So you can do the bolt gun.
Okay.
I'll get Sonny to come down and do some AK mag changes.
Okay.
Who are we gonna put on the scatter gun?
Who came down and scattergunned that one day when I had the Galil here?
Tim Morris? Fuck no, we can't have Tim Morris in our video.
I don't know who's a shotgun aficionado.
Tim Morris, he'd steal the show. Like, that's a whole nother video. I don't know. We've got a bunch of shotgun guys. We'll get Bobby. Bobby's a superstar. We'll get Bobby to come down. Plus, he works good with Brandel. He can read Brandel's mind. Nobody can fucking read Brandel's mind.
No, I don't even think Brandel knows what's going on.
We're gonna bring him in the umbrella full time. He's gonna live in the shed.
In the shed?
The Unabomber shed. I'm gonna put a few more windows in for him. But his chick's a vampire.
That's gonna be hard.
So we'll put a curtain on one side of the shed.
Just a curtain. As long as we get her a coffin.
A coffin. I'll bet she's
sleeping in a coffin. I was just Facebook scrolling. I got onto Facebook Marketplace. You'd be amazed
The
at how
child's coffin?
No, just amazed at how many coffins are just like,
I know where there's a Lexan.
got this coffin in my garage, don't need it anymore.
Right, I know where there's a Lexan see-through coffin.
Oh, that would be cool.
For sale. Like, we had one in the living room for a while. Jen's friend, Keta, was a stripper. So she used it for her shed. But I want to put, like, a reef tank in there. I want to, like, octopus and shit. Yeah. Put some fucking goldfish or something in there.
I was just looking at...
baby shark
I was just looking at wooden rifle cases because I want to make a glass table that has guns in it.
Okay.
And a coffin would work too. A coffin would probably be a little cooler.
Are you going to be able to pull the guns out and use the guns? Or are you going to like weld them in there or pour them in Lexan?
No. I probably have it made so you can get them out. But
do you want me to get you the coffin?
No.
You sure? We can go get it tomorrow.
It's probably a full-size coffin, isn't it?
Yeah, you could get in it.
You should. I like the fish tank idea. Could you make a fish tank? I guess you could. Why couldn't you?
Of course you can.
It'd be cool.
Fish tanks aren't about gallons. Fish tanks are about surface area.
Surface area? What are you telling me?
How much surface area? The more surface area you have, the more fish you can have.
Gotcha.
You could have a 5,000-gallon fish tank. If it's only 12 inches by 12 inches at the top, you can only have one fish, two fish right there. It's about fucking surface area.
In Thailand, there was a bar. It could not have been wider than this. I mean, it's wide. But it was the whole length of the front of the building.
Like the sharks could barely turn around?
Yeah, and it had black-tip sharks in it, and there was probably 50 sharks in there.
But did they have to go back and forth, or were they able to, was it continuous?
It was big enough.
4 walls?
It was big enough to, I think, where they could turn at the ends.
Plus you're in Thailand.
Oh, man.
They got little kids out there fucking blowing cyanide in them sharks' faces and netting them every day. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're probably throwing them every night. They're throwing them out.
Yeah, they're going to use it in the
I thought that was just really cool.
The next day, the chick's going to be stuffing it up her cooter at the bar next door.
Maybe.
They don't give a fuck. All right, we'll keep these ones in case our comments, in case
our comments are low.
So we're at an hour and 20 minutes right now. We're good.
All right, guys.
Check your emails. If you're on our email list and you're not opening your emails, you're about to find yourself no longer on our email list.
Oh shit!
We're about to kill you off.
Later, haters.